Now, of course, here it would be nice if we could click on this backdrop and then go back to that detail page we're coming from. And we can implement this feature by adding a click listener on this modal backdrop div, and by then triggering some code that does take us back to the page we're coming from. So what we want to do here is navigate programmatically, you could say. We want to trigger a navigation from inside our code. So not because the user clicked a link or because the user manually clicked the back button, but instead from inside our code because the user clicked this div. And to navigate programmatically, Next.js gives you the special use router hook, which must be imported from next/navigation. Not from some other package, but from next/navigation. This gives you access to a router object, which then holds various methods for navigating around programmatically. For example, you can call the push method to push a new page onto the stack of pages. You can also manually refresh the page by calling refresh. But now it's actually this back method I'm interested in, because if you call that, the user is navigated back to the page they're coming from. And that's what I want to do when the user clicks this backdrop. Therefore, here as a value for onClick, I'll register this router back method. I'm not executing it here, so you should not add these parentheses. Instead, we just point at this method, and it will therefore be executed for us whenever a click on this div occurs. Now, this use router hook, however, only works inside of client components. Therefore, we must now actually add this use client directive to the top of this file to make it work. But with that, if you reload, you of course are on the full screen details page. But if you go there by clicking around, this modal opens up. And if you then click on the background here, you see it closes, but essentially that means that we're navigated back to the path we're coming from. You can also see how the path changes up here when I click on the backdrop. And that's how you can navigate around programmatically.